Man like Mark Sullivan, the warrior self. Stay tuned for the thrilling episode. Woo!
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
This is the Snowboard Project featuring Mark Sullivan and the Bead. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.
Welcome back to the Snowboard Project.
Take it down, Sully.
Okay.
That was a little too aggressive on the intro.
Welcome back to the Snowboard Project.
Better.
I'm Mark Sullivan.
And I'm the Beav, and I'm critiquing Mark pretty hard today.
Yeah.
Welcome to what episode number are we on here?
Oh, man. I think we're on 15 right now. Episode 15.
Wow.
Real Talk.
We're
Yeah,
15
Real Talk.
deep.
Yeah, 15 episodes is our fourth Real Talk. And we just had last week, we had Smoking Jay Quinn. We had Dale Rayberg. We had another Real Talk. And this week we're going to have Aaron Draplin on Wednesday.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Aaron Draplin.
Tell the people who Aaron Draplin is, really.
Oh, Aaron Draplin arguably is the world's most famous graphic designer today. He's worked for Apple, for Ford, for Nike, for Obama. Yep, I said it, Obama. Okay. And, basically he got his start, though, in snowboarding. And so it's a really great conversation about how you take kind of your passion of snowboarding, you take some of those ideas and translate them into a successful career outside of snowboarding.
All right, which Aaron did pretty successfully over the last decade or so. Who else do we have? We have episode
Trisha
17.
Burns. Yeah, Trisha Burns, and that's our first girl. I'm really excited to have our first girl. We're going to have a number of girls, but Trisha will be first. And so we talk about kind of her being a prodigy in snowboarding and winning the U.S. Open at the age of 16. And then she went to the Olympics, and now she works for the USASA, and she helps kind of promote snowboarding to the next generation.
All right. Well, that'll be pretty sick. Trisha Burns, huh?
Yep. And then we can go through the rest of the month if you like. So next week, we actually have a very exciting week, Flight Week.
Okay.
Right? So we'll have a Real Talk a week from now. Okay. And then we will have Flight Week. And so the first episode of Flight Week, we're going to have an interview with Jeff Grell. This is a doubleheader. Jeff Grell and Eric Webster. Okay. So Jeff Grell invented the high back binding. But he's been snowboarding for 50 years. 50 years. And then also Eric Webster, he was an original flight team rider, and so I talked to him as well. So that's the first day of Flight Week, and then we go into basically designing this snowboard. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about that, but basically we design a snowboard. We go over Eric Luthart's kind of history in the sport. It's actually his birthday on, I believe it's the 11th it drops, the 11th of October.
Okay, and that's his actual birthday.
That's his actual birthday, but then we talk to him about his history in snowboarding. The next day we go through the specs of the board, and then we did a DMQ live, Dig My Quiver. It's a group on Facebook, and then we did like a live review of the graphics to take kind of a piece of snowboarding history and update it to the new millennium.
All right.
So that's Flight Week.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'd say that is actually... I mean, I'm actually super excited. I was a flight team rider. That was my first sponsor. Right. And, I'm really excited about just paying tribute to Stevie Dara. He was the guy. So there's a trinity.
Give me some real talk on who Stevie Dara was.
Okay, so Stevie Dara, there's a trinity of people who impacted the sport of snowboarding. It would be Jake Burton, right?
Right.
Tom Sims.
And
Stevie Dara.
Why does we obviously know Burton and we know Sims. Why is Dara in that?
Okay, so you look at Jake Burton. What was his hugest contribution to the sport? I mean, obviously it became very popular under his wings, but I would say that he actually really led the charge as far as ski area acceptance, allowing you to ride ski lifts and go to resorts. So
and that was Burton.
Jake Burton Carpenter,
gotcha.
and Burton Snowboards.
Right.
And then Sims introduced this whole freestyle influence from skateboarding into snowboarding, right? And then you have Stevie Dara. And Stevie Dara was also a skateboard company. It was called Flight, and that's where Flight Week comes from. Okay. He had a company called Flight, and so he basically invented I would say the most important or helped promote and introduce the most important technology in our sport. Things like metal edges, P-Tex bases. He also invented, well, he didn't invent it, but he introduced the high back binding, right? And that's really what opened the door for Jake to promote resort use of snowboards, because then you could go heel side and not skid out, right? So I would say Stevie Dara. You could say that winter stick, Dimitri, what's his last name?
I'm not sure.
It's like a Greek name,
right?
Milovic. Anyhow, so he was like one of the guys who's definitely one of the legends. But really, if there's a trinity, it would be Jake Burton Thompsons and Stevie Dara. Those are the three most important guys to the development of the sport.
Super sick. And prior to Dara getting into this, we were looking at like wood cord boards, right? Here's another style.
Yeah, he did so many different innovations. Like he had this thing called the gull wing. And so basically every POW surfer today is based on his gull wing design. And he did that in 1978. So when Jake was making these flat Londonderry boards, Stevie Dara was basically introducing the technology that allowed you to ride without high back bindings. So he took a different route around high backs, and it was like basically a downturn edge that allowed you to turn both heel side and toe side, mostly in soft snow conditions. But really that was an idea that like Asmo brought to the POW surfers, that shark snow surfers all rely on this kind of design that Stevie Dara came up with in 1978.
And what kind of ended up kind of happening, I guess, with flight and that direction, and like what happened to Stevie Dara? He just kind of fell off the map? Or?
I have been looking for Stevie Dara for years, actually, because I just wanted to say thank you. Right. Essentially. And I don't know where he is. I've been looking for him. Jeff Grell doesn't know where he is. I've been just Mike Daniels, a guy, an old flight guy, Flynn Seddon. I've been trying to find Stevie Dara. I can't find him. So, but he's done a lot of stuff. He's an inventor. He was more into the innovation side than like the sales side, the marketing side of the sport. And so he was always developing new stuff. It was a huge contribution to the sport. Snowboarding. We're going to have a Flight Week next week. And then also coming up this month, after Flight, we've got Pat Schutte, and he is the PR director for AMA Supercross, AMA Outdoor Nationals. Got his start skateboarding and snowboarding in the Midwest in the 1970s. He showed me some photos of him.
Long-time snowboarder then.
Yeah, and so he built basically maybe the world's first border cross track on a golf course hill, like right near his house. So that's pretty cool. And then, that will be on the 17th of October. Then the 19th, Jason Borgstead, the Alaskan. He was the first Alaskan to win a medal at the X Games. Had plenty of great finishes, featured in Mac Dog movies, but now he owns a shop in Anchorage, Alaska called Blue and Gold. And we'll talk a little bit, I think, more about brick and mortar snowboard retailers coming up here in this show.
Absolutely.
So, and then we also have another Real Talk on the 22nd of October. 24th, we got Rob Kingwell. And then 26th. Yeah, I know.
I'm stoked on Kinger.
I know, me too. And, he was the U.S. Open champion. He does the Shaper Summit in Jackson. Then we got the 26th, Chris Copley, who was a Burton rep, grew up from a few $100,000, the Burton account in a single territory, from a few $100,000 a year to $15 million a year. So that's pretty cool. Then we end out the month Halloween with Todd Hahn, snowboard agent. Real Talk with him. That's our month coming up for the Snowboard Project.
Super sick.
Yeah.
I'm stoked on all that. It's, I guess there's just a lot of different things coming out.
Yeah. The thing is, I've done a lot of interviews, and so we can make a well-rounded package each and every month. And so that's the idea.
Are we well-rounded, Mark?
You're more well-rounded than I am.
I'm a thick kid. Oh, thanks. Yeah, just throw it at me like that.
Hey, man, you just put that ball on the tee, and I took a swing. Okay, what else do we got?
I'm a fat kid.
No, you're not. Well,
I'm husky.
Yeah, that's better. I
actually saw Draplin's photo when he dropped today, and I was like, or yesterday, and I was like,
that could be me.
I was like, brother? Like, are we brothers?
Yeah, you could be. You both have beards.
We both have beards.
Yeah, but Draplin's got a beard, I think, now.
I was like, wow, where did they get this other picture of me? Nope, Draplin.
Yeah, Draplin. Okay, so what else do we got this week? Let's get into some other stuff here. That's our month for the Snowboard Project. That's a big month, yeah.
What do you want to drop into here?
Boy, let's go over some numbers. We came up with a list of about 50 different segments we could do over the course of our show. So basically, there's not a lot going on in snowboarding right now, so we're just going to make this as we go.
We are in the deep, dark pit of no snowboard stuff happening, right?
Yeah, there are things happening, like the product is starting to show up at shops. The movie premieres are happening.
Right.
Movies are starting to drop.
All the stuff that's really coming across
the beta
newsfeed.
movie releases tomorrow on iTunes. Kamikaze drops. The world premiere will be on the 4th.
Okay.
Which is Thursday in Portland, Oregon.
All right.
And so, yeah, there's a lot going on. I believe that's part of the Cold Front tour. So, yeah, there's stuff going on. But let's go into some of our numbers. Pick a couple numbers here, random numbers.
Did someone
throw anything at me?
Someone had to have gotten married this week?
You're right. Someone did get married.
Yeah. Who is it?
Pat Moore got married. I think at Heavenly in Tahoe. Yeah, he got married. I know. It's a heartbreaker for you, Beav. Every week another guy comes off the list.
Yep.
For your, yeah.
You know, next thing you know, it's
I know.
Bed Bath & Beyond. The dude stopped snowmobiling.
I know. He's not going to be able to streak the X Games anymore.
Nope. Never.
But,
never.
you know, there's an upside to being married.
Yep. Yeah. The spreading your snowboard.
I don't even know.
Genetic.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the practicing of that is certainly. I mean, practice makes perfect, right? So we're looking forward to Pat having some redheaded snowboarding children.
Oh my gosh! Wait,
he's redheaded.
Yeah, so all redheads dominate in snowboarding.
Isn't
right?
that crazy?
That's crazy. You think about it, right?
I know. I'm thinking about going. I'm thinking about dyeing my hair red.
Who do you got in bordercross? Nate Holland.
That's right.
Who do you have in halfpipe? Sean White.
Yeah.
Who do you have in backcountry?
Yeah.
Pat Moore.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I'm actually thinking about going redhead. What do you think? Should I do it?
I think you do it.
Okay.
I've actually heard a statistic that like the redheads actually feel pain, like less pain than everyone else. So like you stab one of them, it's just it's a little bit less of a scream.
Huh. I've never heard that.
That's like real statistic.
Like, okay, so from where? Where are you getting this?
I don't know.
I wrote it down when I read it, right? I read it somewhere. Oh, I wrote it down when I read it.
Okay, well, maybe our community needs to dig up that statistic and see if it's actually real. But no, I'm serious. But
okay, so let's go over some numbers. What do you got? Okay, so Pat Moore got married. It was like a who's who of snowboarding's elite was there. You know, like Jeff Pensero and I said it right that time. Jeff Pensero.
Okay.
I know how to say your name now. And Jamie Lynn, you know, I mean, basically a who's who Gucci. I think all these guys, you know, the old who's who, Bodie Merrill, like all these guys who are like the who's who of snowboarding's elite went to his wedding.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think Eddie Wall was there. I'm sure Bridges was there.
I'm sure they both were there.
Yeah. You weren't there.
I was not there.
Were you invited?
I mean, it must have just not made it to my P.O. box.
Right. I'm sure it slipped through the cracks somewhere. Okay, let's move on. So Pat Moore got married. Congratulations, Pat.
All right. Sullivan, quickly, let's just go to one that we always like to go to.
What?
Who's on drugs this week?
Ooh, okay. So I got a couple of who's on drugs. I got two for this week.
Yep.
So the first one I'm going to go with is a clip from Gimbal God, and it's Torsten Horgmo.
Okay.
And he does like this backflip stale fish.
Really quickly, is it Torstein or Torsten?
I'm not Norwegian, so I'm going to go what did I just say?
Torsten.
I'm going to go with Torsten.
I'm going to go Torstein.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree.
I've always said just Torstein.
I know. You say tomato, I say tomato.
All right. Okay.
Or the flying tomato.
All right. Well, lead us into Torstein.
Okay. Torsten. So he does this like it's a Gimbal God clip.
Okay.
At Mammoth, and he does this like I don't know, I forgot what the setup trick is, but then he does this like backflip stale fish to late backside 180, and the cool thing is it's like a combo trick. So it's like I've seen plenty of back fishes, even with stale fish grabs. I've seen plenty of backside 180s, but to do them and separate them into one trick, to me, that's like on drugs. Like that's kind of crazy.
So he does a backflip stale fish and then like kind of a revert 180. Like backside 180?
Yeah, exactly. So he does the full backflip, kind of comes around, could have landed going forward, and then does a late back 180 out of it.
Let's just really quickly talk about that. Just the idea of combo tricks versus just adding another spin or another, I guess, corked out rotation.
Well, I wasn't exactly expecting you to throw me on the combo tricks, but certainly we can do that. So to me, it's like you can only go so far with adding spins and rotations. I mean, if you ask Whitey, the famous filmmaker, it's like, okay, adding a 180, that's not progression, that's repetition.
Okay.
Right? And so to me, it's like, how do you take a new spin on sports. And so a few years ago, I was watching some clips, and this is kind of an idea that I introduced, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
But when I saw Shaun White do a frontside 540, that frontside 540, he still does.
His
but
kind of
me,
famous frontside 540. Like
yeah,
stale
but that's
fish and
almost like a 180 in, stale fish 180 out. It's like he
Right.
separates those into like 3 different things. And then there was one with like Kazu did like this frontside 540, and after he does the full frontside 540, he does a tuck knee. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, but I was like, wow, that's something actually new.
Right.
And like I was looking at it, and I would just be like, every time I'd watch it, I'd be like, sick,
Yeah.
sick, right? Except
Right.
then I was like, wait a minute, there's a common thread here. And so it's like, wait, they're combining 2 relatively simple tricks into one more technical trick that's better than the sum of its parts.
Right.
And then, last year we saw both Stale and Torgeir, like Torgeir's like switch backside 5 to method. And then Stale did like a backside 3 to wheelie. And it's like every time I see one of those tricks, it's like, first of all, I have to watch it like 10 times at
Right.
least. And then second of all, I'm just like, that is so sick, and that is new, and that represents something that, to me, without adding a 180, is the progression of the sport brought to life.
You think we'll see more of this actually as we kind of are reaching that? I guess I don't know if are we in like the postmodern era of like tricks, so we're having to kind of revert and bring that back a little bit.
Well, we got to the quad 1800, I think,
Yeah.
and so it's like, really, what are you going to go quintuple 2160? Are we going to go 24? I mean, honestly, it's like, okay. And by the way, it's like, mad props to Chris Corning for doing the quad 18, right? I'd like, that was sick. He stomped it. He actually had time to spot the landing. It was sick. Like that, that trick that he landed in, what was it, New Zealand at the World Cup?
Yep.
But, I don't want to see it go any further. Honestly, I want to see things that are like, I want to see the combo tricks. I want to see combining 2 things. You could call it style tricks. I called it combo tricks. Call it what you will. But I want to see basically 2 different tricks being put together to make something new.
You think we're going to have to start pushing in other directions, and style is going to be one of them?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
too.
I mean, that's really, it's like, if the mountain is the canvas, the rider is the paintbrush. So let's see what you got. Let's see your Picasso. You got to put your own unique flair at it. And it occurs to me when you watch like these triple 14s, and a lot of guys do the triple 14, but they're basically all the same. I mean, it's really hard to make a unique triple 14. And so it's like, how do you go in a different direction where all these athletes can actually put their own kind of stamp on a trick and make it their own?
Right.
Well, I think they can do it through combination tricks.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Did I pass the test? You
Dude,
just threw
that was
that
like-
at me.
that
I wasn't
was-
even expecting that.
That was intense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I figured
I'm
we were
passionate
right there.
about it.
We were right there. You
Okay,
know?
okay.
And I know you're passionate about it.
I am. I mean, I just
want
want to see snowboarding still be this creative medium.
Right.
Right. And so that's what I'm passionate about, is the creativity and the personal expression. Like
Sure.
I'm a fan of art. Right. And so that to me is about personal expression. And so to me, that's where kind of snowboarding can re-inject that personal expression into the realm of jumping and freestyle. And by the way, it's like combination tricks have existed on rails for years, like, 450 to board slide to 180, whatever, right?
Sure.
It's like or 270 out or whatever. You're doing these combinations where you're getting on a rail, then you're doing something on a rail, then you're getting off the rail. So those are definitely combination tricks, but now they're doing it off of jumps.
Gotcha. Hey, what's up, guys? Beef here. I know you're probably kicking back in your room with your headphones on, or maybe you're in your car on the way to work, or maybe coming from work. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in and listening. It is people like you that make this worth it for guys like Mark and I to make these episodes for you. Please do us a favor. Will you please rate us, share us, tell your friends, spread the word. We want to be able to keep making this happen. And if you can also go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project, you can check us out and you can help us keep creating these podcasts for you. We are an independent voice in snowboard media, meaning we don't have anybody that we are beholden to. We don't have anybody that says, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about that, and that is why this is special. So thank you for being a supporter of that. If you feel like supporting us, or if you don't, hey, either way, at least you're tuning in. So please share, please like, please rate, please let us know how we can be better. Patreon.com/the Snowboard Project.
You got me so deep into the combo tricks that I lost track of where my other Who's on Drugs was. Because there was another one that was actually like It was like a wall ride to 270 off to look up that trick. What was that? What was the page that was on? Check My Feed or something like that?
I think that was on Check My Feed, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up Check My Feed here. Sorry guys for wasting your time, but I'm checking the feed. It's Check the Feed.
Check the Feed.
And it's a snowboarding entertainment website, but this is actually a pretty cool trick. This is Frank Borg, and he does like a wall ride, and then he 270s off the wall ride to kind of a front lip there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sick. It's just like I've never seen someone do a wall ride and then 270 out of it into like a front side front lip, you know?
Pretty nasty.
It is. So anyhow, that's a totally different style, but that's definitely on drugs this week too.
Another shot. I saw this actually a couple different places, but and I don't think this is necessarily who's on drugs, but it's pretty sweet, and it begs a couple questions. But this Norwegian rider Maiko Rayberg, I think that's how.
Are you talking about the one like on the indoor half pipe?
Yeah, and I don't know that I've ever seen, and maybe I don't know if I've ever seen an indoor half pipe.
Okay,
and it looks like it's in kind of like a grain silo or something,
and honestly, it's
silo.
like that half pipe would probably be perfect for a guy like me. But if you're like at the cutting edge, like if you put Scotty James in that pipe, he would be hitting his head on every. Yeah, he couldn't even ride that pipe because he would go too big.
Oh, for sure.
You need a higher ceiling.
But I still think,
I want to ride that pipe.
I want to ride that pipe too.
Yeah, I know. It looks cool.
Is this I just hope this isn't like spelling our future, but I guess this is in Finland. So
what's it called? Rupur Mountainen?
Huh.
Mountainainen? I don't know. I don't even know how to say Finnish words.
I don't know. It's just as wide as the half pipe and goes down like a couple hundred yards.
It's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool. That is just a cool shot anyway. I saw that too.
I think that's cool. He wall rides the ceiling on a front side and there's sparks coming off of the concrete.
Oh yeah. No, actually though, the winner probably of Who's on Drugs this week has got to be this guy from Japan. Because certainly you want to talk about, I'm just watching this clip right now. You guys have to watch this. It's on Check My Feed. It's like the SP_crew. And I'm trying to look this up. It's like this guy, Yuhai, SP Crew Yuhai. And he's a Japanese guy. And it's like a whole new, it's like a whole new thing in snowboarding. I've never seen anything like this. There was a time when people would just do turns, and then someone started doing jumps, and then they started doing street riding, right? That became a thing, and park riding became a thing. Well, here's a whole new thing, Beef.
I'm looking at it right now. It kind of reminds me of ski ballet in the late 80s.
You might think it would be like ski ballet, and it is kind of like ski ballet. It's like
snowboard.
Yuhai Mu. I'm just going to get with it. Yeah, this is it right here.
This is this music that he imagined himself breakdancing to?
Yeah, he's breakdancing, little snowboard ballet. He does there's a handstand, one-footed. And I mean, it's floating around the internet right now, so check that out. Yuhai Mu.
It's kind of it's really
it's just
impressive.
funny, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be into that style, but you know what? Who am I to judge?
Honestly, I don't think I have that ability to do this kind of stuff.
I don't think I do either.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's keep going. So that's Who's on Drugs.
It's more
We
innovative.
actually had a quadruple header for Who's on Drugs, right? Yeah, we did 4. Okay, let's keep going.
4. Okay.
But there's not a lot going on this week of snowboarding.
No.
It's kind of early in our season. It's in the dark period. The movies are starting to release. You can start getting them on iTunes now. And then the premieres are happening. The new product is showing up in shops. But really, there's no snow yet.
Yeah, but it's kind of a time for, I guess, the ski towns to kind of reset, and they're coming out of their high time of summer, right?
Yeah, it's like the calm before the storm.
Right, and the snowboard shops are kind of, I guess, taking shape and doing what they want to do, right? They're
I mean, it's really, it's this is actually a good time of year for it to be slow in ski towns because you get all this new product in, you got to inventory it, you got to display it, you got to hang the clothes on the racks, and so probably a good time to be slow.
Yeah. One thing that happened. Let's talk about brick and mortar snowboard shops.
Okay.
Really
yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of brick and mortar for sure. So, what is brick and mortar? First of all, we should explain what I didn't know at a certain point in time what brick and mortar was. So, what is it?
Yeah. Brick and mortar would be just your, I guess, hometown shops that are not a Big Five. They're not
okay, so
it's
how do you?
It's like Main Street,
Main Street. So how would you? So you mean they actually have a storefront?
They actually have a storefront.
So how do you qualify Backcountry.com? Is that a brick and mortar on the internet? Is that a virtual brick and mortar?
I would say
Or-
no.
Okay.
I think that these places, they are, warehouses that have a lot of product, right, sitting in them, kind
Right.
of waiting to be shipped to you.
Right, they can take advantage of the low overhead of poor
Right.
locations and
Right.
and huge warehouse
Sure.
spaces, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so brick and mortar, that would be like to
Yeah.
say
Tell me your definition of brick and mortar. It's
I
probably
would
better
say
than
I agree.
mine.
It's like a snowboard shop in a town where you walk in, you
Right.
go and buy the stuff, you talk to a salesperson, they try to get you outfitted with the right gear, they take the time to work with you as a snowboarder to make sure that you have the right product to maximize the experience on hill.
Sure.
So that would be like Wave Rave and Mammoth. That
Right.
would be like Dark Side and Killington.
Yep.
That could be like the Board Bin in Ketchum, Idaho.
Yeah. The board, it's kind of rad because the board bin this week, and I'm just throwing this out there. We don't need to spend a ton of time on this, but the board bin had its 30th year anniversary,
Right.
which is like a snowboard shop in, I would say, a predominantly ski town.
Right.
But I think the cool thing about this snowboard shop, and from my experience going to this shop my whole life and walking in there and sitting down and watching snowboard videos, is it really kind of like shaped the snowboard culture within our town,
Yeah,
And
it's like
created
you're a
place.
snowboarder for life because you picked up that culture at the Board Bin.
Right, at a snowboard shop, which I think
Yeah.
is really rad. And this week we got to celebrate 30 years for them, which was cool.
It was like a party in. Okay, so I know if you're in one of our fans in Bulgaria, you don't
Sure.
care about this.
No.
You're probably, if you do come to Sun Valley, check out the Board Bin.
No,
It's
I
an
think
awesome
this is
shop.
I think this is a
But-
good example of what how a snowboard shop in a small town.
Right, and so they have this event. They have like a skateboard slalom. Yeah, not the gnarliest thing, but hey, there's 10-year-old girls and there's 50-year-old guys
Sure.
doing the skateboard slalom, and it's a lot of fun. Then there were bands. There was a dog show. George, my dog, he got best in large dog category.
I saw
Just
that.
saying,
I saw that.
maybe that not AKC
Yep.
registered, but you know what? Who cares? So it was a lot of fun though on a Sunday. Couple bands,
Yeah.
and just a celebration of the culture of snowboarding. Closed off the main street. So anyhow, that was really cool. But that's brick and mortar
Yeah.
retailer.
But I think the coolest thing is the town was able to gravitate around that, and we were able to be put in the middle.
You know what? I'd stop talking about it. Let's actually call up the Board Bin. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Call them up. Call up the shop. Let's see.
Right,
Let's
okay.
see if we can get him on the horn and let him tell us why brick and mortar matters.
We'll call Jim.
Yeah. Who's
let me
Jim?
see
Jim
here.
Slanitz
Jim Slanitz. He
and his wife are they the owners, right?
Jim and Karn are the owners, and they're really
Great
cool.
people though, because they have been really like sharing the culture of the sport of snowboarding
Yeah.
here in Ketchum, Idaho for 30 years.
Absolutely.
So let's see if we can get Jim on the phone.
Hey, Jim, what's up? This is Beeve. How are you doing, man?
Hey, B, how's it going?
Really good. Hey, so I'm here with Mark, and we're just in the middle of our podcast, but we wanted to talk to you just a little bit about brick and mortar, being a brick and mortar shop in a small town, and why that's important, I guess.
Okay.
So why did you what gave you the idea to start a snowboard shop?
Well, I actually started one in Burlington, Vermont before with a friend, and it was just, we were kind of just bored summer, and we were skateboarding a lot and just had snowboarded the winter before, and decided it was something that would be kind of fun to do. I guess that's where it came down to, I guess, and just figured we'd try it out and opened a really small shop back then.
Okay.
So wait, you were just bored and you decided to just start a snowboard shop, huh? That's
Yeah, it was called Board with Life, as a matter of fact.
Bored with life.
Mm-hmm.
And then how the heck did you end up out here out in Sun Valley? I mean, Sun Valley is known for its skiers and its ski area.
I went to school in Colorado a little bit. I wasn't that excited to go back to Colorado, but I kind of wanted to get out west from. I grew up in New Hampshire and lived in Vermont and did that whole scene kind of. And I was kind of wanting to get out west, and Colorado was kind of like I X'd that one off, and I was thinking maybe Jackson or here or Big Sky. And a friend of mine had seen the movie Roxanne. And they had said it was filmed in Sun Valley, even though it was actually filmed in Nelson, B.C. It's like, oh, that town looks really cool. You should move out there. So, like, the day before I left, I was like, okay, that looks good. And I actually watched the movie. And then ended up we checked out Big Sky along the way, but that didn't really have much of a town. It just had the resort,
So Jim, I got a question for you. So, people will go online and they'll go to places like the house or backcountry. They may have like a little bit like more selection. But what would be the argument for someone coming into your shop and actually shopping at, say, the Board Bin in Ketchum versus just going online and finding the snowboard product that they think they might like?
I think a lot of it's like the relationship with the customer and the questions we'll ask them and try to figure out, what is probably best suited to what they're looking for. I know some of the online ones do better than others at that. The other thing that we do is, in our shop is that we give them 100% guarantee they'll like any kind of hard good products they buy. If they buy a pair of boots and they're not 100% satisfied with it, we'll give them store credit for something that will work for them. So that's a pretty good guarantee that's hard to find. And you're not shipping things back and forth and doing all this stuff. And once you get it online and it's something you're not happy with, what are you going to do?
Okay, so how much time do you typically spend with a customer, like when you're sizing up a board or boots? Like, how much time do you spend with each customer getting the right product in their hands?
It varies. Some know exactly what they're looking for. Some are a little bit lost when they come in, and you have to kind of question them and feel them out and try to figure out what they're really looking for. Boots can take a long time because everyone's foot is different. So you want to have them try on a few different boots, and it's good to have a few different brands that fit differently. Why anyone ever buy like a boot online it seems sketchy to me because you don't really know how it feels. And so we'll spend, I don't know, I say we spend maybe 10 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the customer. We've had customers, just ask a million questions and just, you walk them through every little step of the way. So.
Okay.
Nope, I'm getting like another phone call.
I know, B. What are you doing, man? Okay.
Sorry about that. We were just getting another phone call through there. Hey, so Jim, how do you view like the Board Bin kind of as this like, I know how I see it in our town as kind of been this like, I guess this kind of ship that has kind of like forged its way into I guess the culture of our town. How do you view what your shop's been able to accomplish in 30 years?
Yeah, I think it kind of is that way. I mean, we've always tried to give back to the community too with the skate parks and just doing events and always trying to sponsor events. If someone else has a good idea, we pretty much will jump on and do what we can to help out. And it's, it is a catalyst for, keeping that, skate and snowboard community doing fun stuff too. I think, I think if you don't have that, you lose something. It's kind of a starting point and a place to go to get things kind of going. And it's fun to do that stuff too and have. I think, Sun Valley Ketchum has a pretty good, like, local feel to it, and everyone kind of likes each other, and it's not too bro-bra or too, it's pretty chill.
Okay, final question, Jim. Like, how have you been able to hold off, like, this onslaught of online retailers? Because basically, you started your shop before the internet, right? And now we have, like, Evo and Backcountry and The House and all these kind of, like, mega distribution hubs for snowboarding gear at discounts. And like, how have you been able to kind of stay relevant to snowboarders and to the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because, there is so much product out there and there's a lot of good product out there. I mean, I think the survivors in the industry, the manufacturers are all putting out pretty good product. So it's tough to, and you can't carry everything. I think, in general, I think the American consumers, we should be somewhere between communist Russia and where we are today. We don't have to, like, not just one snowboard, but the selection is amazing out there, and the SKUs of jackets and pants and snowboards. Though I feel it has slimmed down a little bit in the past few years. But so, I mean, I think snowboards. I mean, we're at a bit of a disadvantage of not being able to carry every brand and every board. But on the other hand, we go to demo days and we focus really on picking what we think is the cream of the crop and standing by that product and having enough diversity within that line to, get in the right boards into the right hand of the right people, and with the guarantee that they like it too. And so I think that's where we have a lot of advantage over what you're going to get for an online thing without necessarily having the diversity of product that a small shop it's impossible to carry.
Right on.
Well, cool. Congratulations on 30 years for the Board Bin, Jim. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
And thank you so much for letting us phone you in and give us perspective on your shop there. So.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for the call, you guys.
Hey, have a good day. Take care.
All right, I'm gonna donate on Patreon right now.
All right.
all
Ooh,
right.
That's a great
That's not an
idea.
advertisement thing, but I'm gonna do it.
We didn't even know that was going to happen,
no.
but hey, that's a bonus. Cool.
Hey, thanks, Jim. We appreciate it, man. Have a good day.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Later.
Okay, so maybe we should talk about Patreon really quick.
One sec. Let's just really quickly
What?
Can I just interject a couple things? Because
Yeah.
I just want to say, this guy, he really we put this thing like in the middle of town, and it's like our town, we could have done it at the skate park. We did it there, being able to, I guess, come together as a community around one single thing. I think that's really sick, know.
And that can happen with like a brick and mortar retailer. And that's where the
Exactly.
culture of snowboarding lives.
Right.
And in every ski town, there's a snowboard shop. And really, that's kind of the hub of the culture of snowboarding in any ski town around the world.
Which is important. And I think he's also become, he became a city councilman and stuff like that, which helps guide our town in a direction, which I think is amazing, right?
And get Dreamland skate parks in town. Let's
We
move
got-
on.
yeah,
Let's
we'll
move
move on.
on.
We'll move on.
Enough about Ketchum, Idaho.
All right.
What's going on over there, Beeve?
I'm just angry.
Why are you so angry?
I'm just an angry snowboarder.
Oh, come on, Beeve. You're not that angry. Maybe we should have called up Kinger and have him cheer you up. Or better yet, we should just look at our Patreon page and see if anyone is supporting us this month.
Yeah, no, let's get stoked on snowboarding, right?
Yeah, I'm actually stoked all the
Let's
time.
get stoked all the time
on snowboarding. And
Yeah.
you know how we're going to do that?
by not being angry.
No, we're going to do it by telling the real stories of snowboarding and not having advertisers influencing us. And so normally, like in magazines and like social media, there's advertisers, people like Burton or LibTech or whatever. But like part of the message then that you're conveying is their message. And you're kind of like carrying the water for these brands. And so we don't have to carry the water for anyone. I'll carry your water, I guess, Beef.
You already did earlier today.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Yeah, no problem.
So go to patreon.com/The Snowboard Project. We have different levels. They're outlined there on our Patreon page. Please support this independent voice in snowboarding media.
Patreon.com/The Snowboard Project. What do we have next, Sully?
I think we should talk about Patreon because I had to change our scheme this month on how we give away the history. So I got 2 years of snowboarding history to give away.
Okay.
And but Patreon got kind of mad. I was doing it as like a random drawing, right? A random drawing. And actually we can do the random drawing here, but we're going to have to change that for next month. And so basically from now on, we have a new way of giving away snowboard history. We're still going to give away the history of snowboarding, but it is no longer a game of chance. So here's how you're going to win.
Yeah, how do I
history
win
of snowboarding. So basically what you do is you pick one of the episodes that's out, and you share it on your Facebook page. You tag the Snowboard Project so we can see that you're doing it. And then you tell people why they should listen in on that episode. And then I guess Beav and I will be the judges of which review is the funniest or most interesting or poignant or whatever, right? Whatever reason we choose that week to give away a piece of snowboard history. So last week we gave away, or this week we're going to give away Danny Cass's snowboard beacon. Talk about that while I bring up the spreadsheet here because I updated our spreadsheet.
Snowboard beacon.
Talk about that really quick.
Danny Cass had showed up at Tailgate Alaska the year that 2011 or something that Mark and I were doing tailgate, and he showed up in his rig with the Dingo and his whole crew, and he was like about to head up into the backcountry, and he had an old almost like
Ortovox F1,
an Ortovox F1.
Yeah,
it was just dinosaur, and Mark was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really know how to use it. He just knew that it sent out a signal, but it's like, hey man, you're also responsible for finding your friends. It's not just about you, Danny.
Right.
You may have 2 Olympic medals, but guess what? I don't want anyone to die. And how bad would you feel, by the way, if you like had your beacon and you're this pro, you're like, oh, they'll find me. But then like all of a sudden an avalanche happens and your friend goes down and you can't find him because you don't know how to use your beacon.
Hopefully it took a minute to take that other beacon out and really practice with it.
Well, I know that they went heliing, and so basically if you're going heliing, they give you a little beacon test first.
But still, that doesn't leave for any excuse of not actually practicing with your beacon and practice using that. So, obviously, and I think Tailgate was always really good about that. Like there were different things where people could go and practice.
Okay, this is pretty funny.
I was just giving Tailgate a sweet pitch right there.
Go ahead.
About your safety practices.
Keep going.
I think it's kind of sick because you were able to basically provide a space like where people could learn rope rescues or learn how to use your beacon correctly or all that fun stuff. So, anyways, I'll go ahead.
Okay, so the winner of Danny Cass's Wordavox F1 first ever avalanche beacon.
Let it be my girlfriend so I can have it.
Adam Anderton. Adam Anderton, congratulations. You are the winner of Danny Cass's avalanche beacon. You're going to have to pay the shipping. This will actually be cheap to ship.
Yeah, easy.
Like $4 or $5, something like that, Yep. But we'll get that to you. Hit me up, Mark, M-A-R-K, at thesnowboardproject.com. I will get it in the mail to you. Our mail boy, actually, also want to send out a birthday wish. This is my son's birthday.
Oh, nice.
He's our mail boy. Actually, that's only for his first 2 weeks as our mail boy, then becomes our mailman, and then he'll graduate to mail dude.
All right.
So he turned 11 today.
All right. Well,
yeah. So he'll be shipping that. You'll notice the 11-year-old handwriting on the package, Adam.
He has to actually handwrite it out.
He has to handwrite everything. Right. Yeah. So anyway, anyone who supports us on Patreon, we will basically have Roger, my son, sending you the package. And so we had to come up with a new scheme. Now we have sticker packs for this month. Every month we'll have rotating stuff. So it's like next month, I think we're going to give away patches. I have some patches that we'll give away. So we'll get like, that'll be November. We'll talk about that later. But this month is sticker packs. So if you give it the $20 level, we have big stickers, medium, and little stickers. You get big stickers, medium, and little sticker pack at the $20 level, smaller sticker pack at the $10 level. And so that is how we've had to change our Patreon, patreon.com/thesnowboardproject. Yeah. So there's a live pitch right there.
All right.
So what else can we do here in Real Talk? I mean, this is kind of a slow time, but there's other stuff to talk about.
Should we check in on a couple snowboarders and see what they're doing?
Sure.
I think we should check in on. Give me a snowboarder.
Shaun White.
We always do Shaun White. Who else?
You want to go out?
Okay,
we're gonna kill Shaun White this week. This week in Shaun White.
I mean, okay. Let's do Shaun White.
Okay,
but it
doesn't make it quick though. We won't harp on Shaun too long. But you know what? I mean,
Oh no!
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Shaun got some ESPY awards.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course he did. Yeah. Of course he did. What did he win ESPYs for?
2018's Best Male Olympian.
I think he kind of deserved that award.
I
did, honestly. I was like, that was just a monumental performance. I back Shaun White because of that, like the obstacles he had to overcome mentally, all that stuff.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I think that he would deserve that award. That would be very deserving to give Shaun White that award.
Okay. He also got I call bullshit on this one. Best Olympic moment. Shaun White wins gold.
That was a pretty hot Olympic moment. I mean, really, that kind of leads him winning gold led to him being the best Olympian.
Dude, I am just
going
to
win
say,
2 medals.
Look.
Okay, best Olympian could have been Esther Ledecky.
I was going to go Esther Ledecky. And
too late, I did it.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
That was mine. How did you know that was mine? Because
I read your mind.
That moment, though, that Ledecky, takes off her snowboard, takes a pair of skis?
She went skiing first.
Michaela Schifrin's skis.
Yeah, she took her skis.
She was a skier before that, obviously, but she got Michaela Schifrin's skis, and she beat all the women in
including Lindsey Vonn, the one who hated on snowboarding.
Oh, which was beautiful. Watching
it was
a snowboarder
beautiful watching
put on
that
skis
happen.
And kick her ass. And at the same time, like you watch this, you watch Esther Ledecky's reaction, like, no, that can't be.
That was my best Olympic moment for sure, too, actually.
That was a phenomenal moment.
I actually, on our Patreon, behind our Patreon firewall, if you contribute $2 or more a month, you can see my exclusive interview with Esther Ledecky from the Olympics.
What did you ask Esther Ledecky?
I asked her, I had one question I wanted to get answered. So I think I asked it 2 or 3 ways, which is like, what's better, skiing or snowboarding? And guess where I was going with that?
Did she say snowboarding?
No, she was very PC. She must have like practiced in the mirror or something.
Because somebody
That's
was
like-
going to ask her that.
Yeah, so someone was definitely going to ask her that, and she didn't expect, but she was like just being able to compete in both, and
Right.
yeah, and then like and all that. So I think it was just a really sweet victory. Great girl,
Yeah.
and the fact that she could like take two different sports to be like, hey, I won sailing and equestrian at the Olympics.
Right.
You
I just
know?
think it's wild. She was like ranked like 36th or something in the world at that point.
It goes to show how much like wax matters
Right.
in racing.
I mean, I don't think it's just that. I mean, her
No.
run was loose, to say the least, but unbelievable.
Well, she had nothing to lose in the skiing, and she was
Right.
kind of a favorite maybe to win in snowboarding.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of an also ran. In fact, like they were already celebrating in the finish corral when she
They were.
like dropped in. They were
you
like,
watch-
"Oh, it's over, it's over."
You guys out there, you have to dig this up because they're pretty much just like showing her run
No,
in
they
the
have
background.
to support us on Patreon, dog.
Yeah, but there's also
I
this-
show that too.
I get it, but yeah, like there is this scene where it's like they are all like the TV has cut away because she's ranked so far down the line, and all these women skiers are celebrating like congratulations. I think there's even a shot of Lindsey Vonn hugging her like
Yeah,
congrats.
no, you go to
won,
Patreon
congrats on
Firewall.
the
It's
win."
there. It's there.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
there. I
All
edited
right.
that into her interview too.
Okay.
I put it
I
together
didn't-
into one clip.
It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So support us on Patreon.
Okay.
Check out the exclusive. That's our, what do we call our SB award? The Snowboard Project SB.
we'd
To
call it
SPI. To SPI.
no, we'd call it the SPESPI.
SPI.
The SPI.
The winner of our SPI award.
The SPI award.
Esther Deca.
The winner of the SPI award.
Okay, let's move on.
I think we should make a SPI.
SPI. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're giving that to Esther Ledeca.
Okay, the
I would say
SPI.
greatest Olympic moment might have been Shaun White, the greatest Olympian, maybe Esther Ledeca.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's
Right
move
in there.
on.
Anyways, how about should we check in on one other pro snowboarder because we always do Shaun White.
Yeah, you're kind
Yeah,
of.
let's go with like a real core snowboarder like give me-
Xavier Delarue.
Is that just because he
Xavier?
has a serious snowboard name like Xavier?
Xavier. We go with the
Xavier?
Frenchman. We go French.
Okay, Xavier de...
What is Xavier up to this week? It's probably riding powder somewhere around the world.
Ain't wrong.
No, what's he doing?
Xavier is in New Zealand riding in gliders. Actually.
Glider.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What is a glider? What-
They're like these airplanes that are like towed up into the
Right.
atmosphere by a plane, and then they release them, and they just
cool.
get to
So how
glide.
was gliding in New Zealand
Well,
for
it looks
for
like
Xavier?
first shot he's flying over some snow-capped hills.
Ooh.
That's sweet. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't say hills. The second shot is a friggin' massive,
Mount
Lord,
Cook,
Lord of the
probably.
Rings mountain.
Yeah, it's probably Mount Cook. That's
Yeah.
like one, I think the biggest mountain there.
Oh, it says Mount Cook via gliders.
Booyah.
Boom. The next shot is him on oxygen with some old dude. I don't know what's going on. The next shot is a really sick shot of like these two gliders up against a really dark like thing.
Storm clouds.
Storm clouds. And then
Okay.
the next shot is him. It looks like he's throwing up in a bag.
Okay, that'll happen, I guess, in a glider.
And then there's some more shots, but let's just read this. A recce.
Is it in French?
Un recce. No, it's not.
Say it with the French
A
accent
recent
anyway.
flight with a difference to check out Mount Cook in New Zealand. Blah, blah, blah. Came up with the idea of checking out Mount Cook via gliders as we needed a good look at the east face to see if we could make the descent. Oh, so he was scouting via glider.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you ask me, that would be a French Canadian accent, not a French accent.
All right. But the world glider is deceptive because it. No, that's like evil.
Yeah.
But the word glider is deceptive because it can really be really, really bumpy until you pop out of the thermals about 4 hours. About 4 hours later, due to some
Whoa.
issues, resulting in me vomiting my kiwi pies.
Dude, how cool is that? You can glide for 4 hours.
That's
I just they tow you up, no engines.
no engines.
I've seen a glider before, and the coolest thing was like it was silent. Right? It's like a Tesla driving by. It's like all you hear are the tires in the road, but all you hear is the glider cutting through the wind.
There used to be this glider that would go up over Sun Valley, and you'd be sitting there putting your bindings on, click, 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 and you hear this like.
Yeah, it's just like cuts through the wind.
Yeah, it's sick. You're
Okay,
right on that.
okay, so-
Anyway, so that's what Xavier is up to, which is
Cool.
so he's scouting Mount Cook
Pretty
via
badass,
glider, which
really.
is pretty badass. Yeah.
I want to go glidering.
Wow. What
I
else
don't want
is-
to puke up my kiwi pie, so.
It looks like he went surfing in New Zealand and he built a campfire.
Oh.
Also,
Cool. Right on.
Anyway.
You know what I think is happening tonight is like I think the Monaco premiere of The Future of Yesterday. Yes, Monaco.
ooh,
Monaco. Speaking of France, what's next door to France? Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing a premiere in Monaco. I'm not sure how many snowboarders are in Monaco, but certainly they can afford the sport of snowboarding.
Is it like Haldor and one other guy?
And Stan is there.
Stan.
Yeah, like I think that's pretty awesome. And I'm actually going to do a Stan interview here because I think that Stan is actually a guy who like makes snowboarding fun.
Do you imagine that Stan is probably at the poker table right now in Monaco, like shuffling chips, about to get in his like Ferrari,
selling his future
down the
kids?
road? Yeah,
more like gambling his future kids, right? Education and whatever.
Damn it, that $18,000 just went really quick last night.
Yeah, like 16 seconds.
Right.
In Monaco, anyway. Okay.
Right. I'll put it all on black.
Yeah. Okay. So what else do we got this week? There's got to be other stuff in snowboarding.
I don't know.
We got trivia.
Yeah.
We got trivia.
Okay,
so we got to review our last week's trivia, come up with some new trivia.
Right.
Also, folks, go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project right now. As of recording, we have 99 supporters.
Oh, so somebody could be number triple digit?
Yeah. And then you can get our sticker packs. So I got different sticker packs. Roger, my son, that's his first job in the world. I used to be a caddy and a paperboy at the same time. Those are the kind of jobs you could get at the age of 11.
Gotcha.
Well, neither of those jobs exist anymore, so I had to create a job for my son. He's our male
Wait,
dude.
You were a caddy?
I was a caddy and a paperboy at the same time.
I just imagine you like
two jobs. I don't know, that's 11
so
years
I
old.
imagine you in two movies. One, Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were out there with Rodney Dangerfield. Like, or like following the preacher through the rain and that kind of
and you know
stuff.
what's funny? It's like, so they actually tie together, like the Caddyshack and this. So I really hated being a caddy because like they would like call me boy.
Really?
Yeah, they'd be like, "Hey boy, go wash my clubs." Hey boy, and I was like that derogatory.
Hey boy,
go wash my clubs, or like go get my clubs from my trunk or
Wasn't
whatever,
the
and
word
then
I was
they like
thinking
flip you a quarter. This is like in the
don't spend it all in one place, boy.
Yeah,
One of
like they
those.
call me boy though, and I hated that, and so that's
Okay.
why I'm like, Roger, you're gonna have to start out as male boy, but that's just an internship. That's
Why
only
don't
for
you
the
call
first
him
2
male
weeks.
man?
Well, that's what he graduates to from
Okay.
male boy. He gets
Okay.
2 weeks of male boy
All right.
because you got to start at the bottom.
Okay.
Right then he becomes mailman, but then once he's got it dialed, male dude.
Now the other movie that I imagine you in is the movie Better Off Dead.
Oh yeah, I want my
Yeah.
$2. I literally
I want my
that was me.
$2.
I was 11 years old riding my BMX bike.
Yeah.
So check this out. So I'm like, I've always been kind of a creative type. So anyhow, I worked at the golf course and I was a I had a newspaper route and I worked at the golf course. And so basically our golf course decided they were going to switch from gasoline to electric golf carts at that point in time.
Okay.
And so the golf pro Joe was like, hey, I'm selling these golf carts $50 a piece. And I was like, $50, I can come up with that in like 3-4 rounds, you know? So anyhow, I got $50. I bought it. It was an AMF Harley Davidson gas powered golf cart.
Get out.
Real talk. And so then my friend showed me how to take the governor off. And so then I
Right.
started doing my mail route on this Harley Davidson golf cart, gas powered with no governor. It would go like 25, 30 miles an hour, but it would just scream. It was like, it would not hold, it would not be quiet at all. And so literally I would just wake up the neighborhood every morning. I did that for about 2 months. And then finally enough people complained to my parents where I had to ride my bike again on the mail route.
That's hilarious.
That's true. It's true.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
I wanted to say like the movie Better Off Dead is like a classic.
Yeah.
It's you should go. You should
Skiing
really.
and- yeah.
There's
John Cusack
There's a little
and-
snowboarding in there, right? But it's
No, I don't
mostly-
think there's any
is it all
snowboarding. It
skiing?
was kind of before snowboarding,
Yeah.
if I recall. Great movie, though.
Great
Better Off
movie.
Dead.
But I wanted to say one thing because the actual mail boy of the writer of that film,
Newspaper boy.
Yeah,
I don't know what to call him anymore, right?
The actual newspaper boy is this guy named Matt Gorby. He delivered the writer of that film's mail every day. And I
Really?
want to say that it was based on him. And he is a bartender in here in Ketchum, Sun Valley area.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll move
Okay,
on.
moving on, yeah. Okay,
But go check
trivia.
out Better Off Dead because it's
Yeah, it is
that
a good movie. Classic.
All right. Hey, what's up, Roger?
Nothing much.
Roger Sullivan. Mark Sullivan, 30 years earlier. Right?
Yeah.
What's going on? You loving snowboarding?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah? What's the best thing about snowboarding?
Just like it's a good experience and it's really good to do with friends and stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's why we all got into snowboarding, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Okay, so what is the feeling you get when you're getting up in the morning and you're going to go snowboarding?
I get really excited. Sometimes I'm not too excited though, because sometimes a little tired, but
Yeah.
it's always really fun in the end.
Does Mark pull you out of bed and go like, Roger, it's time to go snowboarding?
Yeah.
He does, huh? Because he's all stoked on snowboarding.
Yeah.
full disclosure, how much does Mark love snowboarding?
He loves it like a lot.
Like a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like being his son? Is it hard? Do you have to compete with the snowboard sometimes?
Yeah, it can be kind of hard to keep up because he is pretty dang fast, but
Right.
yeah.
Right. So you guys race sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So have you donated to our Patreon?
No.
Why the heck not, Raj? Don't you have a job?
I guess I do have a job.
Yeah, what's your job?
I'm the mail guy for the snowboard project.
Wait, you're our mail guy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least you didn't get intern position because you'd be making me coffee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that job sucks. Anyway, so you haven't chipped down a couple bucks?
Not yet, but I'm gonna.
Where do you
get
go?
some.
Where do we go to do that?
We go to patreon.com/the snowboard project.
Yeah. Thank you, Roger. If you didn't get that, patreon.com/the snowboard project. This is the voice of Mark Sullivan 30 years ago. Yeah, that's what he'd sound like. Trivia. Let's get into last week's trivia. Let's just go through that real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Scott USA Snowboards, the brand before taking its own name of Scott USA. What was that brand, Mark?
That brand was Hooger Booger.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think they probably changed their names for obvious reasons. Maybe in Switzerland, where Hooger Booger was from, it was like Hooger Booger, no?
Right.
And but here in America, you're like, I know what a booger is, and I don't
Right.
want to hooger that booger.
Yeah.
Right? And so they changed their name, but they
Where did
were like,
Hooger Booger ever come from?
yeah,
you know?
who knows where that name
Who
was
that
generated from?
We'll do Hooger Booger.
Yeah, I've got a great name. I got it figured out.
I
dude.
have to say though, Hooger Booger kind of had some rad graphics. Like
They had
back
the
in
feather.
day.
It was
They had the
always like
feather,
this big
yeah.
feather. I actually have a couple of those. I have one of the first Hooger Booger ASIMs as part of my collection.
No way.
I probably won't be giving that one away because I actually rode that.
No way.
I rode that. It was like cheetah, black and white cheetah with like a big green feather.
Yeah.
It was an ASIM.
I remember just lusting after one of those boards back in the day.
Yeah.
And you could actually go to their factory and like go in the trash can and find the snowboards. People would, and then they started sawing them in half, which was a tragedy.
Yeah. Yep. But that was pretty cool though. And they were like one of the original like
Right.
European brands. There was like Nidaker, and then there was Hooger Booger. But hey, we still have Nidaker today, and
Right.
like we talked about them in Real Talk. But
Wait,
yeah, they're
Nidaker
authentic.
made the Hooger Booger snowboards?
No, I don't know if they made them. I'm saying they were like competitors
Gotcha.
as far as European brands.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Early in their 80s, let's say.
All right. Well, that's pretty
Hooger
sick.
Booger.
Hooger
Question
Booger.
1, Hooger Booger.
All right. Question
Hooger
number
Booger.
2 was name 2 snowboard brands alive in 1984.
Okay, so the most obvious one. Now there was more than 4, but we'll just go over 4 because they were like the lowest hanging
They were the
fruit.
lowest hanging
so
fruit.
let's go with like obviously Sims, Burton, Flight, Barfoot, and I think Avalanche actually as well in '84.
Yeah. Those were kind of the 5 that were really just
Yeah, I
crushing
mean
in
there
the
were
market.
other ones like A-Team. I think Prop was around then. Maybe even Snowtech was around. I'd have to look it up. You could have submitted a different answer, but at least those 4 were right. Like
At least
those
those
are the
5.
low hanging fruit.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Question number 3. Jamie Lynn's first part was in what movie?
Okay, that was in Mac Dog's second movie. Last week we had the trivia question. What was Mac Dog's first movie? New Kids on the Twalk.
Yep.
And so comes from Mac Dog's second movie called Pocahontas. And and so Jamie was in Pocahontas. I mean, he, even from his very first video part, it was remarkable. And still remarkable today that Jamie is still a snowboarder and still around. Hopefully we see Dave Sion make a movie called No Fucks Given about Jamie Lynn this year.
Do you think we'll see a Real Talk Jamie Lynn? Can we make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, that will be one of the goals. Although I think that Jamie is like his actions speak louder than his words.
Right.
Right. He's not the kind of guy to like, well, then I picked up a paintbrush and I was like, a cat, and the cat was blue. And
Right.
It's more like his actions speak louder than his words.
Gotcha. So, and then question number 4, our last question was, who was the first snowboard rapper?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good question. That would be people might say Farmer.
Sure,
That's
yep.
a good one.
Farmer
but
for
actually,
sure. Farmer had a couple of raps. What films were Farmer's raps in?
Oh man. Okay. In like the old Fall Line film movies.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the farmer rap, right? Before that, there was a rap before that, actually.
Right. I'm not saying that this is the actual answer. I was just putting you on the spot
I just want to
there.
go over the answer because I'm not sure exactly which one that was in. It was remarkable, but you kind of threw a curveball at me right there.
Sorry,
so I don't know the answer. It was in like Critical Condition or Riders on the Storm. I don't remember exactly which. Probably Critical Condition though.
And Farmer still raps to this day.
Yeah.
One time, I think he was up at Tailgate, Alaska, and he just hopped up with Kinger, and I think they had like a rap.
That used to be a party that we would throw every year called the Wrap 'em Up, which was like basically like, it was a Wrap 'em Up. So I would have like DJ Cross DJ, and then when he would bring in a couple of rappers from Anchorage, and then basically we'd pass the mic around, and people would try to like rap, and then the professional rappers would grab the mic up as soon as like someone didn't know what they were doing.
All right.
Yeah, that actually happened like 3 or 4 years. We did the Wrap 'em Up.
Was that, and that was after?
That was like the last night. That was the closing party before we
of all the like old King of the Hills.
Yeah, of all that. Like that was the final closing party of Tailgate.
I didn't even know that.
So so it was the Wrap 'em Up party.
Okay.
But anyhow, here is actually I pulled up the video clip. This is the very first snowboard rap, and so I'd like you to rap along, Beef.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go. Ready?
Here we go. First snowboard rap. Press play on that.
This beats death, huh?
Yeah.
Lit. Brushy.
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 Okay, here comes the rap. Hold on. It's gonna drop. Son.
Headed up to the mountain, there was snow. Caught big air like nobody know. Got back in my 6'4", leather seats and a whole lot more.
Wow.
That's it right there. Listen to this right here. This is pretty funny.
Okay, I'm listening. He's a rapper?
So anyhow, that's what I'm going with. That is the first rap. Brushy.
Wow.
He's brushy rapper. Brushy rapper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. There's the answer to our last.
Do you think he still raps today?
I don't know. I know he was like shooting photographs on the poker tour. Yeah. I mean, but Brushy's a great guy. I used to run with Brushy back when I was a kid.
He became like a pastor or something.
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, the last I heard, he was shooting photos on the professional poker tour.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure what you actually document. Like, ooh, look at this. Look at his poker face.
Stone cold.
There's no expression whatsoever.
Right.
Like, how do you make that look interesting?
He's holding pocket aces. I can tell.
I know, right?
Zero expression.
Yeah, zero expression. Okay, anyhow, let's move on.
All right.
What's this week's trivia? Let's go to
this week's trivia for you. We have a few questions. Name one of Burton's original pro freestyle team.
Yep. So there's like 4 or 5 like original. They were in that movie. Chill. So you can check out the original freestyle team. You can
just give them the movie.
I'm sorry. I just kind of gave it away a little bit. But you're gonna have to look it up anyway.
Have to go look it up. I think that's the whole point of this.
Yeah. And by the way, you're gonna win like 2 nights at the Hot Water Hostel.
Really? Is that what we're throwing out there?
That's what you promised you would throw out every week. Remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot. So.
Yeah. Yep. And 2 Rainiers.
And 2 Rainiers. 2 nights with
I know.
2 Rainiers.
You forgot that you made this like such a rich pot.
Yeah. Well, I just figured.
But you got to enter to win.
Yeah, you have to enter to win. And you have to be a Patreon subscriber, right?
Yes, you have to subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/the Snowboard Project at any level. There you go. And you can win.
All right. Question number 2. First snowboard mag ever published.
So there are 2 acceptable answers to this.
Okay.
And you're going to have to come up with that, and we'll talk about the answer next week.
Okay.
But 2 acceptable answers I'll go with.
All right. So we have two questions of first. And then an interesting question here. Who is the defending world champion in snowboard moguls?
Ooh.
Should we give him the year that happened?
No, they should just figure it out on their own. I already gave them the movie let's not make it too easy here.
Mogul world champion in snowboarding.
Current defending. World. Let's just say it wasn't last year.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have the world championships of moguls anymore. And but there is a defending world champion. He still holds his chin high based on the fact that he is still the defending world champion of moguls snowboarding.
I wonder if he puts on the belt buckle and walks into bars and everyone goes like, oh,
he's still the champion.
That guy. He's the champ.
Yeah. So
He's
anyhow,
like,
those are our trivia questions.
Okay.
So anything else we want to touch on before we sign off?
I think that's about it. I think that's kind of...
This wasn't a big week in snowboarding news, but how long did we talk for here?
Who cares? About an hour. We have an hour. Yeah.
A whole hour or nothing.
Whole hour of... No, this is not
No,
an
this was
hour
actually
nothing.
cool when we talked to Jim Slanitz. We talked about Flight Week, talked about our schedule for this month. And
I think there's something to be said about the core of snowboarding and the historical and the relevance of really, paying tribute and keeping like your local shop alive. That's one thing. I think there's also the historical relevance of keeping ideas and innovations like flight alive.
Definitely.
And I think those are important things to our sport. I think looking back on this and looking at the history of snowboarding is important for us to do, right?
Right. It's like you don't know where you're going unless you know where you come from. And so that's why it's like, you know what? So we designed as Flight Week, we designed a snowboard, right? And so there's going to be like a new tribute to Stevie Dara flight board. It's a Rocket 167. We're making one for every year that since Flight started in 1974. They started in 1974, like 5 years before Burton. So we made one for every year. They sold out in 3 days, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, they're all sold out already. But anyhow, you got one, Beav. You got one coming.
I got one coming. I'm pretty sick.
So I'm stoked too. That's actually the board I want to ride. But it's like you don't know where you're going unless you know where you come from. So it's like you look at what they did in the past and we take that to the future. And so the design, the graphics, they pay tribute to those original flights, but they're not just a replica, let's say.
Well, I think there are some people that can criticize and say, you know what, let's just leave the past in the past and live in the now. I don't know.
You don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. I truly believe that.
I truly believe that too. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in. This is Real Talk.
Real Talk.
Real Talk. Real.
Okay.
Talk.
We'll see you on Wednesday. Aaron Draplin, Friday, Trisha Birds. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
This has been the Snowboard Project.
This is the Snowboard Project.
Okay, that's better than mine. That sounds kind of...
I said peace on top of yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. We're going to press stop right about now.
On behalf of Mark Sullivan and the Beav, thanks for listening to the Snowboard Project. Remember, ride fast, take chances, dream big, and take action. And for God's sake, don't forget to support advertising-free snowboarding media at patreon.com. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.